Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you guys how to make a favorite around my place. It's my own personal recipe for beef and bean burrito, carne asada burritos. And to make it, this is what you need. I've got some Mexican rice. This is farmhouse, but you can get any type you like. 1 pound I have organic grass-fed beef here. I use jalapenos, probably use about half of this jar. I have Ortega carne asada seasoning, organic black beans, garlic, McCormick's fajita sauce, which is the best one that I've run across for any sort of Mexican tacos or burritos. Definitely going to add a little extra cumin in, as well as some onion powder, black pepper, and garlic powder. Obviously for burritos you're going to need to use large, I use this flour, large super soft tortillas from Mission. I've got about half a very large onion chopped up here and 1 red pepper chopped. So let's get started. Tell me when I'm on.
Yeah, you're on.
So I've heated up the cast iron skillet to about a medium-high heat. I'm going to add some olive oil here. You can see it's already pretty hot. Hopefully it doesn't burst into flames. And you want to add some garlic. This is really hot. Go ahead and add our onions in there. And our peppers. Stir that up, and you let the pan heat up a little bit too much before I added my ingredient. Trying to get the camera set up. So what you want to do is stir that around until your onions get soft and translucent. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and add in my jalapenos right now, half a jar. Because you can add them in at any point during the recipe, but the longer you cook them, the less spicier they tend to be. So if I add them in early, then they won't be so spicy that everybody's complaining that their mouth is burning when they're eating them. So I'm going to go ahead and add them in at the beginning. But we still get the flavor without getting the spice. That's what we're really looking for. It already smells really good. Like I said, just want to throw these around in the heat at about a medium-high, maybe 5 minutes or so until the onions and peppers seem like they're getting soft and the onions start to become fairly translucent. Okay, so while that's cooking here, I'm going to go ahead and start my rice. Pretty simple. Same rule whenever you're cooking rice. It's always going to be equal parts rice and water, and then one extra cup of rice. One extra cup of water for the pot, as they say. So equal cups, water and rice, and then 1 extra cup of water for the pot. And basically, I don't know if you can see that, but that's about 1 cup of rice. So I'm going to put 2 cups of water in there, and the seasoning that came along with the package. I like to use clean water in my rice. I think that makes a big difference in the taste. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on high until it comes to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I want this to burn while I'm talking. Once that comes to a boil, I'll cover it and I'll turn it down to maybe 2 2 and a half, and just let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And that's how I'll get the rice just perfect. Okay. So now the onions look nice and soft, so I'm going to go ahead and add in the ground beef while I'm waiting for my rice to start boiling. I'm just going to stir it in just like this. And keep stirring it around the pan until it gets crumbly and brown. And I can see now that my rice has just started to boil. So I'm going to go ahead and cover it. And turn it back to whatever, maybe 2 or 3. So at this point, the ground beef isn't totally cooked, but I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my seasoning. So there comes the McCormick's. I'm just going to dump the whole thing in there. Then I also have the carne asada, which is an interesting kind of a green color. Has a lemony sort of taste. Lime, more like lime than lemon actually. But just healthy amounts of both. Probably, I don't know, could be, I'm not sure really about the amount. But then I want to also add in some garlic powder. And you can, to taste, whatever you think is going to, a little experimentation, to figure out exactly what is going to be good without putting it over the edge. So, just add some black pepper. And I'll probably stop the camera before I start sneezing. But there you go. And that should be all the seasoning that we need to make it really delicious. I'm just going to stir that in and finish cooking the meat. So at this point, the ground beef is pretty much done. It's crumbly brown. No more pink spots. Looks pretty good. But, being the chef, it's always my privilege to taste it and make sure it tastes right. I'm going to get some veggies and stuff and then see how it tastes. Yep. Delicious. This is going to be really good. So, next thing we're going to do, I drained our black beans. There's probably a little water left in them, but mostly drained out. I'll go ahead and add those at this point. And stir them in. And the next thing we're going to need to do is, once our rice is finished, we'll soften up our tortillas. Okay. Alright, next thing we're going to do, the rice is ready to go. It's completely cooked, and I tried a little bit to make sure it was soft. 20 minutes is what it takes to get it going. And looks like perfect, no burned rice. Just going to go ahead and add that in, just to make things simpler. Just going to add it right into everything else, which is finished cooking. I'm just waiting. So we added that. I'm just going to stir it right in and make it part of the mix. And that's basically what you got to go into the tortillas. And then in the next segment we'll just go ahead and show you, well, my way of softening up the tortillas so they roll really good when you roll up your burritos. Okay? Alright, so all I did is I just took out 8 tortillas. I think that's about what we got here. And what I'm going to do is just put it, I went and just ran a paper towel under the faucet and put it over top of my tortillas here. And I'm just going to throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Okay, now that we got the burritos out of the microwave, they're pretty flimsy and hopefully a little warm. So not really warm. You might want to do it a little longer. And that's it. We just got to start rolling them up here. Just add a little of the yummy yummy in the middle of the burrito. And there you go. One delicious carne asada a la Sam.